ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ fateh. Welcome to the segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Today we recite the concluding Ashtapadi of Gauri Sukhmani Mahalla Panjama. And it has been our honor and privilege to be able to recite and reflect with you Sukhmani, the pearl of peace, the jewel of peace, the psalm of peace. And in the concluding Ashtapadi, the fifth Nanak, Arjan, Guru Arjan, tells us about the impact of following the instruction of the Gur Enlightener, of the Guru. So let's together recite the 24th Ashtapadi of Sukhmani Sahib. Salok Pura Prabh Aradhya, Pura Jaka Nao, Nanak Pura Paya, Pure Ke Gun Gao. When I worshipped the perfect Prabh Self, Pura Prabh Aradhya. So this is when Aradhana means to worship, to appease or please somebody. So you could read it as when I pleased the perfect Prabh Self. But we have chosen to translate the word Aradhya as worshipped. When I worshipped or glorified the perfect Prabh Self, Pura Jaka Now. Now here is creation, because everywhere we look is creation. So when I worship the perfect Prabh Self, whose creation is also perfect, I found perfection. Nanak Pura Paya. And so the instruction to us is, Pure ke gun gao, says Nanak, glorify that perfect one. What does glorification mean? So in the system of bhakti, devotion, there are certain practices which are mentioned here. One of them is singing the praises, which we call kirtan. So kirtan is an important aspect of bhakti and of gurmat. So when the Guru says, Pure ke gun gao, the essential message is that kirtan is a form of transforming the self. So engage in kirtan collectively, in sangat. And now to the Ashtapadi, the first stanza. Pure gur ka sun upadesh, Par Brahm Nikat Kar Pekh. When I followed the instruction of the perfect Guru Enlightener, what happened? I presenced the Supreme Being, Par Brahm. Presencing means experiencing. Saas saas simro gobind, Man antar ki uttar chind. Saas, saas. And so with every breath, I became mindfully aware of Gobind. In other words, my awareness of Gobind became more perfected. And my mind's anxiety dissipated. Aas anat त्यागो तरंग संत जना की तूर मन मंग. As anit tyago tarang. Do not heed the mind's impulse, because the mind is impulsive. The patterns of behavior that the mind has, ignore them. Instead, the Guru says, I asked for a place at the feet of enlightened beings. Sant jana ki tur man mang. Aap chhod benati karo. Overcome this ego. of I-ness. Don't pray for I, but pray for Sad-sang, Agana Sagar Taro. Pray for the company of the Sad, the good enlightener, so that you can be carried across. In such a way, the Guru says, Har dhan ke bhar leho bandar. Fill the storehouse of your heart with the treasure of Har. And says Nanak, I bow to that perfect good enlightener. Nanak Gur Pure Namaskar. So you see where this is going. I read out the entire first stanza, the first stanza of the Ashtapadi, deliberately because I wanted to set up the idea within this Ashtapadi. So it is to the Good Enlightener, to the Guru that we have to go, that we have to reach out to. That is both within and without, as we have seen. And then what happens? He begins to describe lasting happiness, well-being, poise, and bliss, he says, will arise within when, in the company of the good enlightener, we meditate on Paramanand, the source of that bliss. Khem kusal anand sad sang paj Paramanand. So the Guru says, flee hell and be saved. How do you do it? By imbibing the qualities of Gobind, the Master, who is one but with many colors. And then furthermore, Gopal Damodar Deen Dayal Dukh Panjan Puran Kripal. He now addresses the self both as Gopal and Damodar, the sustainer and the one that encompasses its creation. Damodar, Damo is encasing within, literally the stomach. So Gopal Damodar, the sustainer and one who encompasses creation, is always compassionate, is always merciful. So therefore, fill the mind with self-knowledge. Uttam salok sad ke bachan, amulik lal eh ratan. Sublime are the words of the Sad, the good enlightener. They are like priceless jewels. So listen and act on them. Swim across the ocean of life and ferry others with you. Sunat kamavat hot udhar, aap tare loke nistar. And that is a safal jivan, safalata ka sang. Fruitful is that life. And fruitful is keeping company with such a life that is infused with self-knowledge. And then it speaks about the musical harmony of the universe. Jai Jai a-sabad-a-day. So there is a musical harmony which is not audible. What is meant by that is that there is a cosmic law that causes things to move in proportion, that make this existence possible and sustain it. That is the self doing it. And then Gopal, the sustainer self, is made manifest by the teachings of the Mahant, which is the good enlightener. It's used for the good enlightener. Again, Nanak says, I was saved by the good enlightener. Nanak udare tinke sang. Who? Prakte Gopal Mahant ke mathe. Mahant is someone of great deeds and actions. Here it is the good enlightener. So seek the protection of the one. Sarana Jog Sun Sarani Ai. We came because we heard of the one. So when you come to the good enlightener and you follow the instruction of the good enlightener, all animosity begins to disappear. Humility prevails. Mit gaye bair, bhaye sabarain, amrit naam sad sang lain, and self-knowledge gets revealed by the good enlightener. And the Gurudev, the Guru Enlightener again, is pleased when you accomplish the task. So prasanna bhaye Gurudev, puran hoi sevak ki sev. So what is that puran hoi? You escape the entanglements and vices of the mind. You get shielded by them. So by coming to the Guru Enlightener, Nanak says, I have shielded, secured myself. Nanak nibehe khep hamari. Prabh ki ustati karo sant meet, savadhan ekagar cheet, sukh mani sehaj gobind gun naam, jis man base so hot nidhan. So with the friendly Sant, the Guru Enlightener, I sang to the glory of my Prabh self with single-minded devotion. That's the key. Because the qualities of Gobind, which were narrated to me, contained in its Naam, knowledge, they are pearls of wisdom, the Guru says. The mind that contains them, in other words, the mind that has assimilated the qualities of Gobind, is a treasure trove. Because within that mind, all desire is fulfilled, meaning you become absent from desire because you're fulfilled. Because universal consciousness has been made manifest, sabste uj paye asthan. Pradhan Purkh pragate sab koi. Pradhan Purkh, again, that supreme consciousness, the highest state of consciousness, is made manifest in such a mind. The Guru then again reiterates, Khem sant rid nav nid buddh gyan sarb teh siddh vidya tap jog prabh dhyan gyan sresht uttam isnan चार पदार्थ कमल प्रगास सबके मद सगलते उदास सुंदर चतुर तत् का बेता सामदर्शी एक दृष्टेता. So he's listed out the impact, what happens. Lasting happiness, peace. Your powers are refined, your capacities are refined. You have access to all perfection. You cultivate discernment. You get knowledge of higher faculties. Learning, all penances, all yoga, and all concentration is contained in the teachings of the Guru Enlightener. Sublime benefits of purifying ablutions, the primary substance, the unfolding of the inner lotus. So he is actually listing out the end state of all the systems of Indian systems of thought and philosophy. All of these, he says, are contained in the instruction of the Guru Enlightener. So, the wealth of self-knowledge contains all of these things. Eh nidhan jape man koe, sab jug mein taki gat hoye. So this treasure, when realized, delivers emancipation in all ages. Self-knowledge, which are the qualities of Gobind, will begin to resonate. And they resonate in the Bani, in the utterance of the Guru. It resonates in the Vedas, the Shastras, and the Smriti texts. What the Guru is saying is that the crux of all faith is Naam. Of all the formulas, only Naam, or self-knowledge, is primary. It is fundamental. And it manifests in the hearts of the devotee servant, sevak. So the tutelage of the Enlightener is what corrects us 1,000,000 times. And it is its mercy that releases us from the grip of those who receive its grace. And in conclusion, the Guru tells us that the mind that listens and absorbs with love the teachings of the good enlightener, what happens to such a mind? Jis man basai sune lae preet, tis jan aave har prabh jeet. That mind, such a mind, comes to abide with the Prabh self. In other words, it completely identifies with its essence. Jaram maranata ka dukh nivare, dulabh deh tatkal udare. Such a mind is emancipated from the sufferings of birth and death, and this precious body actually achieves its proper end. Nirmal soba amrit taki bani, ek naam man mahe samani. Such a mind is brilliant, without impurities of the ego. Its words are ambrosial. Such a mind is absorbed in the One. Dukh rog bin se pay param, sad naam nirmalta ke karam. Such a mind experiences no pain and disease, fear or doubt. Such a mind is unblemished, perfected by self-knowledge. Sabte ooj ki soba bani, Nanak eh gun naam sukhmani. So Nanak, these are the qualities of Naam, self-knowledge, by virtue of which the mind is made it crystallizes into a jewel. And Sukhmani, at the beginning, he told us, was actually Naam. It is Sukhmani, and that is why this composition is called Sukhmani. On that note, until the next time, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.